here.
And Mike, what struck me from this particular fire was the fact that it did literally jump, and we probably because of the wind, and maybe Ed Piotrowski a little later on can kind of tell us about the wind situation, but it seemed that it was burning in one area and then not, and then it would pick up in a different area, and obviously the wind was carrying some of those ambers around and starting and spreading the fire.
Well, and at some points that wind, not only was it spreading the fire, but it was making the smoke so thick that you quite honestly, you couldn't see past, you know, sticking your hand out in front of your face. You couldn't see beyond your hand. That's how smoky it had gotten.
And in this shot that we're looking at right now from our tower cam, you can see the fire crews putting out some of this brush fire here. You can see the train track right to the left of your screen, how very close that is. Again, we don't have it confirmed that this all started from a train. The initial reports, witness reports, were that there were sparks coming from a train as it was going by. That is not confirmed at this hour. But the amazing thing is the length of this fire, running all the way from the fork, as 501 kind of forks off on your way from the beach into Conway, all the way down to that complex, that shopping center right in front of Coastal Carolina University. I think that is kind of the headline of the hour, just how quickly that spread from that fork in the road to CCU.
And Jim, fresh new sirens sounding just now. They continue to come from all directions, but I just want to point one thing out. If I can have Josh pan over here to the Conway fire truck. Just beyond that fire truck and beyond the line of trees, you can see some dark smoke. I'm not sure where that two-story house is, but I'm assuming that black smoke is probably coming from that house. You know, it's not burning this white smoke as we're seeing from the brush. It's a different colored smoke, so I'm assuming that's the house fire that we can see really close here to same proximity to where we are and where this fire originated as it spread towards some of these structures that are out here. Again, houses and warehouses and all the other businesses in the Atlantic Business Center and the neighboring communities around here.
And we have heard nothing but nonstop sirens for the last 45 or 50 minutes, Mike, and I'm not sure how many agencies that represents, but clearly they have been concerned about this and continue to be concerned about it because we still hear the sirens behind you right now. Yes,
no doubt, Jim. And as I look down toward Myrtle Beach, down the railroad tracks toward Myrtle Beach right now, I'm seeing some smoke still, but it looks like the flames along the side of the railroad tracks there may have been put out. I'm not sure. I can't get a clear shot. I know when the fire originally started and we came outside, I ran to the railroad tracks immediately because I saw that's where the fire was coming from. And looking down the tracks, I could see the train. The train had stopped. So I don't know if the driver was aware of possibly something dragging or some sparks in the area, and he realized what was happening, and that's why the train stopped. But that's something we're going to check into and see if that, in fact, is what happened.
Well, and we're looking, Mike, right now for that overhead shot again towards that fork where 501 goes in the two different directions into Conway. And obviously that continues to be a major problem spot. But from what we're seeing here, it primarily looks, and again, this is from just my vantage point, looking with everybody else at the television right here, but it looks just simply to be brush. Obviously, they have it surrounded. They're worried about that warehouse right there. We have no reports besides the initial report of that two-story house that perhaps is burning.
Real quick, Jim, if I could interrupt for a second. I've got a spokesperson for Horry County Fire Rescue who just walked up to the scene. I haven't had a chance to talk with him, but he's going to go live with us right now. Todd Cartner here with Horry County Fire Rescue. Todd, what can you tell us about the situation right now?
Right now what we know is it appears that the brakes on a train locked up, and that caused the grass fire on both sides of the tracks. It's spread quite a bit here in the last few minutes. We've got a couple mobile homes that have been engulfed in flames. Thank goodness they were abandoned. Obviously your building was threatened as well. We're getting it under control. The problem was it was just so fast, and with the wind spreading like it was, and it covered a very large area with the traffic on 501 as well. That's what slowed us down.
Well, the one question I have is we've had a little bit of rain recently, and the ground feels a little bit wet. Obviously it didn't stop the fire from spreading.
Well, no, and it's the top part of the grass is what's burning so rapidly. If you really take a close look at it, you'll see that really the part underneath is not burning as much. It's what's down, or what's across the top of it. So right now we've shut down Atlantic Avenue completely. We've shut down East Cox Ferry Road, and 501 has been slowed down to almost a complete stop just because of the apparatus we're trying to get in here.
What about the smoke in the area? I know that it's kind of died down a little bit now, but earlier it was interrupting traffic. Have you heard of any problems because of the smoke?
Basically, with the wind blowing the way it was very clear on 501 even when I came in. So I think that the wind blowing the way it was just got rid of the smoke pretty quickly. And so hopefully it'll be cleared up very shortly.
You say it looks like the brakes on the train locked up, as you said. And how long did it take the driver before he realized what was going on? Do you know how far this fire goes down the tracks?
That's our initial reports. My understanding is the train's not but a tenth of a mile down the track, so it's not too far. So I think he realized it pretty quick. Again, once our units got on scene, the problem was it was spread so quick because of the high winds. That's what just took a little bit longer for us to get it under control. It is pretty much under control now. We have a couple of hot spots that are threatening some of the businesses in the Atlantic Center, but we've got several brush trucks on the scene now. It's Horry County Fire Rescue as well as Conway Fire that are they're getting it under control.
All right, any idea how many we have out here? I mean, there's a lot of sirens going on right now.
Well, I have no idea. We have several people that are off duty that came in just because of the high winds, and we knew that it would spread quickly. I would probably venture to say there's at least 30 or 40 firefighters out here on scene.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, Jim.
Could you ask Todd just one more time for confirmation? Notes that I kind of wrote down here. 2 mobile homes. Is that the extent of the property damage? 2 mobile homes?
Sure. Todd, the question is just 2 mobile homes damaged as far as we know right now. What about the 2-story building?
The 2-story was actually a modular home, and it was a vacant home. It was one for sale, is my understanding. And I think there's actually 3 homes is what I've heard that are involved. 2 of those are single-wide mobile homes, and then the 2-story modular home.
Now, as far as we know, were there any injuries? Anyone hurt? Firefighters or people?
No, we had some upset people just because of the traffic delays and stuff like that, but that's our job. That's what we have to do, and it's for the safety of the public. So hopefully they'll understand that. Hopefully we'll be back with all the roads open here very shortly.
All right, very good. We're going to toss it back to Jim right now. Jim, do you have any other follow-up questions for us out here?
Mike, just very quickly, while you have Todd right there, and I know that this is probably not his expertise, but if indeed these brakes did lock up on this particular train, do we know that can't be a common occurrence? I mean, the train obviously is somewhat accountable here to what's happening behind you.
Sure, we could find that out right now. Todd, the question is do we know how often does something like this happen as far as brakes locking up on the train? I know there have been cases up just within the last few months that we've gone in the northern section of Horry County where it appears a train may have started a fire. How often does this happen?
Well, I mean, obviously it's something that can happen due to the fact that with the metal against metal on the tracks, it's going to be very hot. So, you know, something can happen. I think what made the biggest impact today was the high winds that we had. Those gusts is what carried it so far and made it spread so rapidly. And that's what took a little bit of time. Also, it's off the beaten path, if you will. It's not something directly on the side of a road. So that's something that took us a little bit longer to get under control. The guys have done a great job. We've, like I said, got it under control now, so hopefully we'll have everything open back up very shortly.
And the driver of the train, as far as you know, is okay?
Oh, yes. There's no injuries have been reported so far.
All right, very good. Thanks, Todd.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. We just want to recap. We'll begin our regular 6 o'clock newscast here in just a couple minutes. But again, a fire, according to Todd Cartner there at the Horry County Fire Rescue, fire has occurred off 501 right across from Coastal Carolina University, literally coming to the sidewalk here at News Channel 15 in the Atlantic Business Center, stretched from the fork at 501 all the way down to that new shopping complex, if you're familiar with the area, right across from CCU. Total of 3 homes, including 2 mobile homes. They were not occupied at the time. None of the properties were occupied, but 3 homes have been destroyed in this fire. They believe that brakes on a train sparked and created this brush fire this afternoon. And indeed, we'll try to track that down and confirm that in the next few minutes. And these high winds obviously playing a major role in this brush fire this afternoon. We'll be back with our regular 6 o'clock news in just a couple of minutes. This has been a special report, and we'll see you back in a couple of minutes.